If you're like me, you are ready for the Buckeyes to get back in action, get back to playing football. I'm glad they got a bye week. I'm glad they got to relax. We got a lot to talk about in the bye week that we took care of, but it's time to get back to Ohio State football. We will have a watch party for the Buckeyes beginning at 2:30 live on the channel. If you're not up to date with everything we're doing here, be sure to subscribe. The watch party is one of those things. We're talking ball in it. We're playing games in it. Opportunity to win an Ohio State jersey. We'll be raffling that off during the game, so you definitely don't want to miss it. Best way to stay up and informed with things like that is subscribe to the Ohio State Football Report. More keeping you up to date as Ryan Day and Matt Patricia took the podium this week. Damon Williams Jr. of Washington, that's their quarterback. That's the guy to watch this week, and we probably already knew that. But Ryan Day and Matt Patricia, they put on their good politics coaching hat, complimented the quarterback, talked a lot about what he brings to the table, and then compared him to a college legend, to a Heisman winner. Gave him those good words, those kind words, that comparison. We'll start with what Patricia had to say about the Washington quarterback. That first step quickness that he has, his ability to get top speed. It's explosive, it's fast, it's quick. He gets out of the pocket, and he's got a really strong live arm. Even when you think you've kind of got him bottled up, he can get out, and that reminds me a lot of Kyler Murray, the former Oklahoma quarterback. Ryan Day, I don't know if they just rehearsed saying almost the same thing, but lightning in a bottle. Once again, he's like Kyler Murray. He's a very good player. He's got a strong arm. He's quick. He's fast. Really good football player. We're going to have to really have a good game plan for him. He's had a good year so far. He rushes the ball well. He passes the ball well. And again, this is just in 2 games for the Washington Huskies. I'll get to you right away. No, they haven't played any Big Ten teams or high-level competition. Honestly, Ohio's played tougher competition than the Huskies have so far. But Williams has done everything he's been asked to. Be a dual threat, quickness, lightning in a bottle. And as those 2 coaches said, and you can't take it lightly, they compared him to former Heisman winner Kyler Murray. I think this is a brand new challenge for the Buckeyes. I like the idea of a guy that can get out of the pocket, that can cause a lot of trouble with his feet. Yeah, we said that about Parker Navarro. That's kind of in the back of your mind with Arch Manning, but this is a whole thing for Damon Williams Jr. It's getting out of the pocket. It's causing a lot of trouble with his feet. It's any second he can take off and go. New challenge for the Buckeyes. I like it. They need it. In a way, this gets you ready later for a Bryce Underwood. It gets you ready later for different playoff teams that you may face. Again, I don't write any game off and move on. I take what it is from the game. I enjoy an Ohio State football game. I mentally take in all the aspects that will be a part of it. Damon Williams Jr. will be a huge part of it for Washington against Ohio State. We will have a preview for the channel next week to get you set for that one. With all that being said, what is your concern level over Damon Williams Jr.? Parker Navarro, a lot of people had a 4 or a 3. I think this is a bigger program quarterback with a little more experience. So go ahead and scale it for me, 1 to 10. Your concern level over Damon Williams Jr. Kyler Murray comparison. Got to pay attention to that. Buckeyes have contained running quarterbacks. It's worth noting. We previewed that Arch Manning could run. He got some carries. He got some abilities to go, some opportunities to go for Texas. 10 carries, 38 yards. Never found the end zone. Only found the end zone as a team once. Tasavian Tissett, 2 carries, -9 yards, no touchdowns for him rushing or the Grambling Tigers in general. Parker Navarro bounced out of the game. I think that's noteworthy because that should tell you if a guy thinks he's going to run on the Buckeyes, he's going to have to deal with that physicality. But Navarro also re-entered the game and then still didn't run the ball very well for Ohio. So, for me personally, I think the Buckeyes do a really good job containing quarterbacks that can run. However, as I said, Damon Williams Jr. for Washington is a brand new and unique challenge for Ohio State. PrizePicks, they are the ones sponsoring this video today. We appreciate that here on the Ohio State Football Report. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. PrizePicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. That's because PrizePicks puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. PrizePicks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, and MasterCard. Also, more to go with that for quick and easy deposits in your account this football season. Great example of that stat projection I was talking about here. More on Carson Wentz, half an interception. More on Chase Brown, rushing or receiving, half a touchdown there. And the max discount of Patrick Mahomes, more than half a passing yard. Who doesn't want to get in on a max discount? Way to do that now. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. All right, we talked preseason about the black stripe tradition for the Buckeyes. We just had our latest player that had his black stripe removed off the helmet. I love this because for Buckeye fans, Urban Meyer started this in 2012. The tradition continues. Transfers, redshirt freshmen or freshmen, get that black stripe off their practice helmet, kind of lets you know they are a Buckeye. TJ Alford, you might have seen him against Grambling or Ohio. He's gathering playing time. He's doing a little more on the field. He finally had his black stripe removed. The process is not just preseason here, guys. This goes into the season. You have to earn it. Even if you're on the field, you still have to earn that moment with the black stripe. I think it says a lot. I think it demands a lot of these guys. And at this point in time, you look at this year compared to the last 2 years, the Buckeyes are on track. They're right where they want to be with this. True freshmen that have had that black stripe removed during the year. You love to see it. They should be at that number around 18 or 20 once again by the year is done. And I know, you may say to yourself, we're in the middle of a season. These are the younger guys. Why does this matter? This is about development for me. It's important for the Buckeyes to develop their players, and the removal of the black stripe tells me that guy is developing properly. Part of Ohio State's younger player development. TJ Alford, congratulations. You are coming along as a Buckeye. I know they say you're officially a Buckeye when you have that removed, but I think it just says in a time where Ohio State is constantly using younger players at every single position on every part of the field, offense, defense, special teams, they're developing their young guys to be a part of this team, right? So that list had Riley Pettijohn, Bo Jackson, TJ Alford, Zion Grady, all guys that have played a little bit for the Buckeyes and now literally are shedding their stripes, so to speak, for Ohio State. So congrats to TJ Alford on that one. Bryce Underwood at it again, and I will preface this, nothing crazy here. Didn't really spout off again. He's been humbled. I will say the interview we're about to quote, he was toned down. He was relaxed. He was a little more humble than he's been, I think, lately. But something he did say stuck out to me. Of course he got asked about Ohio State. He's preparing for Nebraska. We're months away from Ohio State. But talking about how he feels about this rivalry, being a kid from Michigan. I just knew it was the biggest rivalry in sports history and still is to this day, of course. Just knowing my home state is willing to fight and defend and do anything that's possible to not only beat Ohio State, but be the best us we can possibly be. It's just life-changing. Went on to talk a little bit more about growing up in Michigan and the winged helmet he wore as a kid and wearing the same helmet now. Just getting into that and whatnot. And look, we've talked a lot about Bryce Underwood, right? His ego and being so young and what he's done for Michigan. I want to know if at this point in time, everything you've heard from him, everything he's talked about, the connection he's made to a game he hasn't even played yet, has he made this rivalry more interesting for you? He has for me. This is a talented quarterback. I think it's very interesting. But you could type Y for yes if he has made it more interesting for you, or N for no. Maybe you got to wait till the game. Maybe you just haven't had that feeling yet with Bryce Underwood. Let me know down below. So I'm not buying this narrative. I'm not interested in I'm from Michigan. I know how much this rivalry means. I know what it means, how much it means to the state to beat Ohio State. I know what it's like when you lose that feeling because I grew up here. Not having it. This is a guy who was going to LSU for professional quarterback development because he saw what happened with Jaden Daniels until he was offered millions of dollars. Then he's a Michigan man. Then Michigan's home. Then he was always meant to be at Michigan. He was always wearing the winged helmet as a kid. I think it's going to be a great game. Saying Underwood, what's happened in the past, Ryan Day, Sharon Moore, everything surrounding it. Look, there's been years, we all know, where these two teams, one wasn't great, the other was, maybe they're on an even playing field. I don't know. It always turns out to be a pretty good game for a good chunk of it. However, I'm not buying that because Bryce Underwood has this hometown connection and he knows what it means to beat Ohio State and the meaning of it and all that. That's not making it a better game for me because I know Bryce Underwood's at Michigan because of millions of dollars, not the meaning behind the Ohio State and Michigan rivalry.